Okay, we got a 2004 Subaru Outback Legacy. We are going to be replacing the strut and the wheel bearing, front driver's side. What I'll do is I'll just walk through each little step as we go, because I'm old and it might take time to do each step. So when I start ready to pull things apart, I'll be back. Let's see. Okay, we're going to start. Remove the brakes, hang them up on the strut. We're going to disengage the tie rod and the ball joint from the knuckle, and we'll remove the dust shield. And once we've got that took apart, I'll come back on and show the next step. If there's any issues on the way, I'll go ahead and record those issues and we'll knock it out. Alright, everything's stripped off basically. So what we're going to do now is do the axle nut. If you're going to do that, you need to have a 32 millimeter. I'll separate the tie rod there and ball joint. Then we should be able to take the knuckle, well, with those two bolts there. There somewhere. Just need better light. Those two nuts there. Move from the strut, and we'll be able to pull the knuckle off and press out the bearings and the hub. Alright, so there's really nothing to anything up to this point. Just undoing and setting everything up where it's suspended. Back over there is the anti-lock. It comes out right there. Okay. Well, I'll get back on once these three are off. If there's any issues that come up taking them off, I will record more. Okay, it's off. See if I can position this right. That's where everything's at. Ended up trashing the bottom ball joint because it wouldn't want to come out, and the boot was already trashed, so I'm going to end up replacing. I've still got to knock that out. That wasn't too big of a pain. The biggest pain was probably the tie rod. I ended up putting a puller on it, but it only went so far. So I got it nice and tight and did the old percussive shock with I stayed out of the 2-pound hammer range and just used the old flat 11 ounce, 12 ounce hammer. And you ain't got to hit it hard. It just takes a little while. You got to be repeated. Bam, 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 bam. Eventually it will pop out. Let's see. I had used breakover bars on the two big strut bolts, but that was kind of expected. The CV joint looks real good, so I guess the next thing would be, well, we end up popping the ball joint out and have to get a new one. I really need to go ahead and replace all this stuff, inner and outer tie rods and the little suspension bar there. It's all got cracked rubber on it, but that's okay. I replace that old strut. Let's get up and look at the bearing. I never did really feel any up-down play, but sideways play I did. And I could hear it on the road. It'd be just a, a little roaring. And whenever I turned toward the ride at like 50, it would go away. So you could tell that once it got a load on there from the turn, the roar would go away, but it'd come right back as I straightened up. And here's what we got. I don't know if you can tell. There's play. There's definite play there. So it was due. Alright. That was really the brunt of it. What is that? Mr. Spotter wanting to bite me. Run away. Next bit will be, really I just need to pull that off. I'll order that, and next we'll press the old hub and bearings out of this knuckle and put the new ones in. Till then, adios. Alright, got all the parts in, and we've got everything removed. Let's see, 27mm. Push the hub out first. Then you have to push out the bearings, and then you have to push out the old race, which is right here. It's not complicated. It helps definitely to have a press. Alright, we're fixing to push the new race in, the new bearings in, make sure they're all good and lubed, and put the new hub on. Then we'll probably go ahead and pull off the old strut. See the new ones. Nice. This is your outer, that's your inner. New snap ring too. So we are all set to put them back together. Alright, everything is going back together the way it's supposed to. I figured I'd point this out. It looks like this is deep enough, but these need to be flush. From what I could tell from the video that I watched, these need to be flush. So we're going to knock it down further. Just figured I'd point that out. Adios. Alright, it's all back together and ready to go back in. Now what we're going to do is support that brake and go ahead and pull that old strut out and replace it, since everything's loose. Really only 3 bolts to that. And 13mm is odd too, because all the references were 12mm on some of the odd stuff here, but it ended up being 14, just to keep in mind. Alright, well, I'll holler back when I'll do the next one when the strut's in and we're ready to start putting things back together. Alright, until then, adios. Alright, let's back at it. I figure I'll go over a couple things that I think I forgot about yesterday. I'm not sure if I said anything about it, but the ball joint was a real pain in the ass to get in, because if you see, that knuckle is really hard to put on a press and get it level and secure and stable. So I ended up making use of the slot that's in the knuckle. I pounded a screwdriver in it, spread it out just enough to get the ball joint started. once it got started, I threw the castle nut on the end and put a socket on it and smacked it with a dead blow until it sunk up in there. You got to hit it pretty damn hard, but it'll go. And then you just take the screwdriver out. Let's see. Next thing, the camphor bolt was a pain in the ass until I loosened up the castle nut of the ball joint and the 3 top bolts that are holding the strut. Once that was done, it's easy enough to just put it right in. Then you tighten everything back up. Let's see. The axle nut, I'm probably going to try to put a little bit of tension with, the brakes being held once they're back on. But then I'll wait and do the final torque once the tire's on the ground and good and stable. I do believe that I'm not gonna set the camphor, or try to set the camphor until I do the other side, and then just take it in for an alignment. I really probably want to replace the tie rods too, but that'll be for the next vid, I guess. So if I think of anything else, I'll make another one when I'm doing the final torque on that axle nut. Alright, adios. Final words. Well, first off, make sure you put the right strut on, because if you don't, you're going to have to take it off because they're sided. I did not realize that, so I just had to pull the strut off and replace it with the other one that I had, because they're definitely sided for the brake and the ABS. I can't really think of anything else that would be pertinent to doing it. Make sure you've got the right tools, because that's everything. Alright, well, let's see if it gets rid of the noise on the road. Adios. Alright, it turns out that the noise was still there, so I decided to go ahead and start on the other side. Man, it's so much easier the second time, because you know all the little tricks. I only spent like an hour just pulling everything off. Now everything's ready to go back on. Let's see. Oh yeah, on this one, the rotor did not want to come off for the life of me. I mean, I beat the snot out of it with a dead blow, but never did end up doing anything. Now you can, if you got an air hammer, you can just hit it from the back side, and eventually it'll loosen up enough to pop off with a few smacks of the dead blow. Alright, really nothing new. I mean, I should have went ahead and redone the tire rods, because that's next. It's definitely bad. I'm probably just gonna try to stuff that one full of grease and wrap the shit out of it with electrical tape so I can get the new ones. That'll be the next thing. This right here should take care of it, because those bearings were definitely bad. You could hear it when you turned the hub, and one of the bearings actually came out as it was pressing it out. So this is definitely the noise maker. Alright, I think that's really it. There's nothing else to say. Adios. Oh, Merry Christmas. Alright, it's all back together. I'm just fixing to torque that last nut down. And I came across something as I was cleaning up. Let's see, there we go. There is the culprit. There. See if we can get it. Well, that's the inner race. And you can see it is chewed. That's that noise. Or was that noise? No more. Alright, well, just thought I'd relay that. It's nice to always find the issue. And shoot, when I pulled the pressure bearing out, there was one that had completely unseated. So we're really fortunate that it did not strand us. Alright guys, well, that is it for the wheel bearings and struts on the front. Adios.